Okay, knock the ears off. Let's get those back on here. Let me do that one again. Hi, welcome to Cinder Alley Loves Disney. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. And if this is your first time visiting, thank you so much for clicking on this video. I hope you do decide to stick around and become part of my Disney family. Well, today's video is going to be something really cool. My friend Nina over at the channel Wrestling with Disney and I, if you haven't seen it, we created a pin tag in January called 19 Pins for 2019. So if you haven't seen it, I will link that video. But her and I had also talked about doing a different kind of a tag. We want to kind of get to know our fellow YouTubers as well as give everyone a chance to kind of know us a little bit better. So we created this really cool tag called the Get to Know You tag, and it has 15 questions, and we're going to go ahead and go over those. But before I do, I want to give you some extra information about Nina. Now, she is awesome. She started this Disney YouTubers Facebook group that we're in. Her and I actually both started our channels together 1 year ago in the month of May. Coincidentally, we hadn't known each other back then, but we became friends not too long after that. But she loves wrestling and she loves Disney. And she does different things on her channel where she does subscription boxes for both Disney content as well as wrestling, and then she'll kind of mix some extra things in there as well. So if you haven't already subscribed or checked out her channel, you definitely want to do that, and I will for sure link that information above as well as below. So as I mentioned, there will be 15 questions. The first one is, when did you start your YouTube channel? I already alluded to that. I said it was in May. It's going to be in a couple weeks. My 1 year anniversary is coming up. So if you haven't already done so, make sure that if you aren't subscribed, that you subscribe and that you have your notification bell on, because I will have some fun things coming up really soon. Some different types of collaborations, a couple giveaways, and a special 1 year anniversary video as well. So make sure you've got your notifications on so you don't miss that. Question 2, when did your love for Disney start? Wow. Well, I did have exposure to Disney when I was a kid. It was kind of always around in my life. My parents took us, my brother and I, when we were little. Every few years we would get to go down there when we were young. But I would say that the real true love didn't start until more closer to adulthood. I mean, I did mention before in one of my other videos that I remember seeing Cinderella as a kid when they had re-aired it in the theaters many years ago. But I feel like it wasn't until my 1 year wedding anniversary when my husband and I had decided to go to Disneyland. And when we went, it just sparked a whole new love for Disney. And so we made a point to, go every couple years after that. I started pin collecting back then. So I would say it really started more of in my adulthood than it was as a child. However, it was still down there, but it just didn't come fully out until I was an adult. Okay, question 3 is, what inspired you to start sharing your love for Disney on YouTube? Well, wow. That is kind of an interesting story, because I really didn't start watching YouTube. Now, don't anybody laugh, but I really didn't start heavily watching YouTube until about 4 to 5 years ago, once I moved out of California. And it was only because my husband and I were going to be going on a trip soon to Disneyland, we decided to start watching some YouTube videos on what had changed at the park since we hadn't been there, and just kind of see some different things. And so we ended up getting and watching a lot of YouTubers and seeing that there were so many of us out there, so many of us sharing our love for it. And I thought, well, man, why don't I just give it a shot? I really love Disney. I collect Cinderella. I have all kinds of collectibles that have been piling up for years and years. And I thought, I'll just give it a try and just see what happens. So that's kind of why I did it. I just thought, it'd be kind of cool. And so I gave it a shot and just said, I'll just put some videos out and see what happens. And here we are, almost a year later. Question 4 is, what are your favorite Disney topics? Either Disney film, Disney parks, Disney collector items, etc. Well, if I had to rank these in order, I would say that my number one thing is Disney parks. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you know I've only ever been to Disneyland in California. I have not ever been to any other park across the United States or the world. So I hope one day to go to Florida. I really do. I don't know when it'll happen, but you know, it's on my bucket list for sure. So parks is definitely the number one first thing for me. The second would be collectibles, because as I mentioned, I have been collecting Disney figurines and other type of things, pins and so on, for years and years. And third would be films. But the cool thing is, like if I meet somebody at a restaurant or in a line somewhere or whatever, and there's Disney that comes up, or someone has something Disney that they're wearing, and I can literally talk Disney to anybody. It's the coolest thing. Like you can just talk about anything Disney to someone that you don't even know. And even this type of interaction, I'm sharing my love for Disney and talking about Disney to all of you that are watching, but in a person to person type of thing, I can talk about Disney with anybody, and that is so cool. Oh, question 5 is a good one. If you could meet any Disney YouTuber, who would it be? Wow, wow, wow. Okay, so I would honestly, there's a good set of you out there that I have been really close to. I would love to meet any and all of you. I really wish we could at some point. Hopefully we can. But if I want to go a little bit on a larger scale, I'm actually going to say that I would love to meet Ryan over at Disney Pins blog. He seems like such a cool, down-to-earth kind of guy. He's so sweet, and he literally takes the time to respond to every comment I've ever left on any of his videos. And so we kind of have like a real good, you know, friendship interaction going, and I just think he's an amazing guy. And so I would really like to meet him if I had the opportunity. Question 6 is, what do your loved ones think about your love for Disney? Well, if we're talking about like my extended family that lives in California, they all know, they've all known for years that when we would go on vacations, my husband and I, we would go to Disneyland like every couple years. That's what we tried to do. They all know that I just absolutely love it. But I will say that my husband was probably not quite as much into Disney when we first got together as he is now. I mean, after that initial trip for our 1-year anniversary, that kind of did spark some interest to him, but it's grown exponentially really for both of us, and probably even more so since we've moved out of California and just been away from a Disney park. So yeah, they all accept it. They're all fine with it. Question 7 is, what is your earliest Disney memory? My earliest Disney memory, and I've probably mentioned this before, is I have memory of riding on the Peter Pan ride when I was a kid. And I remember looking over the edge in that boat and seeing how far down it was, and my mom was like, don't get too close, I don't want you to fall out. And back then it seemed like it was so far down. And then when I rode it as an adult, I was like, gosh, this really isn't that far. I mean, it is to a point, but it seems a lot farther when you're a kid. But I definitely remember the Peter Pan ride. That is one memory that's always stuck with me. And I also met, and again, I can't remember because my mom has not been able to find the picture when we were kids, but I met either Chip or Dale, one of those two. And my brother and I had taken a picture with them, and we had it hung up in our house for years when we were kids. So that kind of helped spark that memory. So those are my 2 earliest memories of Disney. Question 8 is kind of a 3-part question. It says, who's your favorite Disney villain, your favorite Disney princess, and your overall favorite Disney character? So my favorite villain is going to be Ursula from The Little Mermaid. I just love, you know, that whole concept of her being like an octopus trying to take the voice of Ariel. And then the fact that the lady who played that part, or who sang the voice, can do just amazing things with her voice and octaves and things in that song. I really love the song that she sings. So that's kind of why that sticks out to me. And if you haven't already figured it out by the name of my channel, my favorite Disney princess is Cinderella, but Ariel is also my second favorite Disney princess. Now, my favorite overall Disney character, I really had to think about this. I actually filmed this about 6 times before I got to this point to where I could really figure out who I wanted to pick and what I wanted to say. And I am gonna choose Rex from the Toy Story series of movies. He is just hilarious. And he tends to kind of panic about stuff, And I can kind of relate to that because, as I mentioned once before in a prior video when I did the What Princess Am I, I'm a worrier and I will panic about certain things at times, and I have to remind myself to just relax, everything's going to be fine. So definitely Rex from the Toy Story series. Question 9 is, what Disney character do you relate to the most? And I kind of alluded to Rex being the one that I related to the most, but I also think that I relate to Cinderella a little bit too, because you know, I'm very compassionate and caring for others. I'm also, you know, a hard worker and a dreamer, imaginative, that kind of thing. So that's kind of why I picked that. Question 10 is, do you share your love of Disney outside of the Disney YouTube community? And that answer is yes. Everyone knows that I love Disney, friends, family alike. Everybody knows that I love Disney for sure. Question 11 is, how has the overall experience of being a Disney YouTuber been thus far? And it has been amazing. I mean, I have made and become friends with so many people, so many of you out there that are also YouTubers, as well as some people that aren't YouTubers that are, you know, talking to me in the comments and everything. It has just been amazing. Like I said, there are so many of you that I have never ever met in person, but I really consider true friends. And so that, I think, has been one of the main positives that has come out of me starting my own channel. Question 12, what do your loved ones think about you being on YouTube? Well, my husband's very supportive of it, and my immediate family, they know as well, and they seem to be okay with it. Unfortunately, I don't think they watch all the time, and if they do, they aren't commenting, so I don't know. Sometimes I kind of have to reach out and say, hey, did you guys happen to see this video that I put out? But, you know, I think everyone for the most part is fine with it. Question 13, how has YouTubing about Disney brought Disney magic into your life? And I think I kind of alluded to that already in the last question. Just the fact that I've made so many additional friends through this platform has been remarkable. I mean, I really do treasure friendships. And so the ones that I have made really do mean a lot. I've really enjoyed connecting with everybody out there. You know, like I said, hopefully we can all, or some of us, meet at one point in our lives. That would be really great. But that's really been the staple for me, and that's really why I kind of got into doing this in the first place. I wanted to make like-minded Disney friends in the community. Question 14, what are your passions outside of Disney and YouTubing? Well, of course my family is one, but if we're going to talk about maybe just other things like type of hobbies or things I enjoy doing, I do love to read. However, I haven't been able to spend or devote as much time to it as I would really like, but it is something I do love to do. And I also do other type of things like scrapbooking and crocheting and things like that. But again, it's all a time factor. So pretty much when I do have free time, I'm filming or editing or doing something or talking to my other YouTube friends. So that's kind of taken a big part in my life right now, but that's okay because I'm enjoying it. The last question, question number 15, what is your biggest dream for your YouTube channel? And for me, I want to say, I want to just be able to continue to make new friends and grow and learn more about myself. But as far as a grander scale, I saw one time a YouTuber out there got this really cool like award plaque looking type of thing from YouTube when they hit 100,000 subscribers. And I thought that was really cool. I would love to get something like that. But I'm not going to like stress or try to push or work towards that excessively, because I don't want that to be the only thing that I want to get out there. I'll grow it however the pace is meant for me to grow, and I'm okay with that and accept that. But I think that would be really cool to get in the grander long-term scheme of things. So that was really fun. I hope you did enjoy this, and I hope you learned a little bit more about me. And now to my fellow YouTubers out there, want to learn a little bit more about you. So now I'm going to tag some channels, and when Nina and I talked about this, we had talked about tagging quite a few channels. We want to know more about all of you out there. And in all seriousness, I would love to tag every single one of you. But if you aren't tagged, please don't feel that that means you can't do it. do this if you want to. Tag Nina and myself because we would both love to see those videos. The channels I'm going to tag are Heather at the Disney Housewife, Christy at Christy's Corner, Kate at Princess Minnie, Rita at Enchanted Rita, Christina at Playdates and Travels, Bethany at the Pentastic Girls, James at Pen Pals, and Lacey of Lacey's Latest. So I hope you all do this tag. I cannot wait to see it. And again, if you weren't tagged, please do it and let Nina and I know. And a special thank you to Nina. We've been working on this tag for quite a while, and I'm so excited that we were able to put this out right now. So if you haven't already done so, please consider hitting that subscribe button and sticking around for the long term. And as always, thank you for watching, and make it a Disney day.